Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone podcast. We are glad that you decided to join us today. This podcast focuses on reviewing topics like movies, music videos, audio clips, and even relationships, so sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Pastor O'Neill's Review Zone.
Them in some areas, and I will encourage you to look at it when you do get a chance. But I want to share with you this particular clip, and let's take a listen.
Hard non-negotiables.
Hard. Are you ready for this?
Hard
rapid fire.
Non-negotiables.
Yes or no?
We're just going to ask you some questions about some hard. These are extremely hard non-negotiables. Okay.
You can ask us too, now.
I'm gonna ask everybody.
Okay.
Can you date somebody broke?
No.
No.
Yes.
A man would say that.
Yeah, I feel like a man would say that. You want a broke girl?
You didn't say, do you want? That's not the ideal. That's
But it's not a non-negotiable if she doesn't have money at this stage in her life.
correct.
Okay.
Is it because you're a man?
Right.
And you want to provide and protect and love in that way?
No, I think because as a man, I'm not dating you for your money. And I don't need it.
Touche.
But you don't think it's helpful if she has her own?
And yes, that's great. I'm going to help you get more of it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amen. Okay.
So no, yes, no. Okay. All right.
Also, what's broke?
No, yeah. I'm like,
Okay. Well, do they have to have money?
Yes.
They have to have a job.
Do they?
Yes.
Truly.
Yes.
the woman.
Is she paying some of the bills?
Where?
If you get
You
get
said
married.
dating. You said dating.
Okay,
I
well,
want
if
to
you
be
get married,
clear.
does your wife have to pay any bills?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now.
No.
All right, so there you saw it yourself, right? Now, these three women that claim to love the Lord, three of them said that they would not date a guy who is broke. That means he is not financially stable. Maybe he could be in and out of a job. Maybe he doesn't have a job. Or maybe he is in a job, but basically his job is a low paying one where he is, basically having, he can get his stuff paid and all of that. But the fact of the matter is he is not financially independent. All right. I don't know what the definition of broke in today's terminology is, but my understanding of broke is that if, for instance, you lost that job that you have, you most probably would end up on the street or have to go and live by your mother or some family member, simply because that you were living hand to mouth. You get to pay your rent, you get to pay for your car, whatever. But if you lost that job, you don't have anything. That's my definition of being broke. All right. They didn't say anything about not having a job. I don't believe that anybody should be, looking to get involved with anything, and you don't have some sort of means. I don't care if you're washing cars for a living, you are wiping windscreens, you are selling fruits, whatever, what have you. Yeah, you have to have something where you are able to provide even for yourself. All right, basically. But other than that, what I am saying here is that even among Christians, and you heard the question yourself, would you date somebody who is broke? And the women all said no. So in other words, what we see happening here is that no woman or no modern day woman is prepared to work with anybody in order to establish something. No modern day woman is prepared to work with a guy to establish financial wealth or financial stability. They all want somebody who already has it made. All right. all women, all modern day women are being taught these days, and you saw the clips. All modern day women these days are being taught to look for somebody who already has it made. What are they bringing to the union? Or the common question is, what are you bringing to the table? Most of them say, well, I bring myself, I am the table, whatever that means. All right. And we have a whole lot of problems. Now, let's go another things put together and whatnot. All right. And what we find happening with that, though, all right, what we do find happening with that is that in today's world, and to get Trinidad statistic was like pulling teeth. It was very difficult to get specific answers to the question we asked him, because our Central Statistical Office does not provide the information in a palatable way where we can dissect and so on. But the closest thing I could have gotten is America statistics. And you know, we have a saying here in Trinidad, when America sneezes, Trinidad the sketch the cool. So if we get that kind of information being tabulated like the American system, then we can have a good conversation. And what I was able to realize is that what is happening is that most women, or I would even say most men, most women, right? When they do get into a relationship, there's a lot of problems. All right. When they do get into a relationship, there is a lot of problems. When they do get into a marriage, there's a lot of problems. And here is the frightening statistic. The frightening statistic is that, number one, right, most women initiate divorces. Most women. And you want to know the frightening statistic? The frightening statistic is 69% of women initiate divorce. That's the frightening statistics. 69% of women in America initiate divorce. And if they have a college degree or higher, that percent goes higher. So it moves from approximately 70% to 85%. So a woman who has a college degree or higher, amongst those, it's even higher, to 80%. So you have these most educated women, and when they do get married, and if they're following the advice, they are getting married to men who are well-to-do, right? They're getting married to men who are well-to-do, and the divorce rates are very high. And who initiate the divorce? The women. So we have a problem. The advice that women are receiving is that get a man who is well-to-do, get a man who has it all together, get a man who makes a lot of money, get a man who can provide for you and do this for you and mind you, and all you have to do is to sit down there. All right. And most women, they make money. All right. They would make money, but the man doesn't get to see that. So what is theirs, and what is his is theirs also. All right. So let's have a look at it. So the advice that is being put out there is that women ought to get a man who has a lot of money. And when they do get the man who has the money, who has the wherewithal, who has everything, they end up divorcing the man. Alarmingly high rate, 69% across the board, or 70 to 85% if the woman is of a college degree or higher. So we have a lot of problems where it pertains to now women and their ability to keep a man these days. Could there be something wrong? Is there something wrong with the way that we are being taught in terms of what we should do? And Pastor O'Neill is saying, yes, we are being taught the wrong thing. And the reason why most modern women can't keep a man is because the premise into which you get into marriage for is wrong. Your understanding of your role as a woman is wrong, Pastor. But that don't make no sense. Two people into a marriage. And so what about the men? I would also say that the men, the reason why you get into marriage is wrong. And if you get with a woman who has a wrong concept of marriage, a wrong concept of her role in marriage, I assure you, you will be getting a divorce. I assure you that. I assure you that. Simply because if and I'm not saying that the men are right, but we must understand something. Women have access to sex, but men are the ones who say, I will get married to you. Now, the man proposes by saying, I will get married to you, based on the premise that that woman has agreed to give her body to him. Most women will only give their body to a man who is financially secure, or as the woman was saying earlier on, the man has his stuff together. He can do his thing, and I want to play back that clip for you.
You meet a guy. The first thing that you want to make sure that's in check: finances, career, accomplishments. Very, very important. If you want to have a healthy relationship, it is very important that those three things are in check when you meet a guy. Because one thing, a man is a very unhappy man if his money is not right, if his career goals are not right, and if his accomplishments are not right. Remember.
All right. So you saw it there. She says money, career, accomplishments. Notice what she's asking the young woman, the woman of marrying age, or the woman that wants to get married. Notice what she is asking for you to look for. You're looking for money, you're looking for a career, you're looking for accomplishments. And nowhere inside of there am I seeing integrity, love for God, respect. So if you understand the point that I'm getting at, let's go back and take a look at this other clip here.
A lot of these broke and poor guys are not in love with you. They are just managing you because you are what they can afford at the moment. Broke guys don't have choice. They just manage situation. You know a man's true character when he has made money, when he's successful, when he has the power to choose, when he has variety.
So she is actually saying that successful men is men with money. Are we seeing the disconnect here? That a successful man is a man with money. That a successful man is a man who can afford a house, and who can afford a car, and who can afford the thing, you know, he has choice. So a man who doesn't have any money doesn't have any choice. All right? Doesn't have any power, doesn't have any influence. You see? And what I am saying to us today is that this type of mentality is wrong, and the reason why we are going to end up with the statistics that we are seeing right now. You see, the statistics that we are seeing right now is only for this generation. If you would check back before, the generation X and the higher and the baby boomers and so on, the divorce rate was not as high as what we see today with this Gen Z generation here that we have. Divorce rates are going through the roof, all because of this feminism, this feministic way of looking at men as the kind of commodity. And as I said, the women, they have access to sex, but the men, they are the ones who choose who to get married to. All right. And let me make this abundantly clear. There are a lot of people that feel that, well, men can get what they want. That is not true. Men can't get what they want because if on average, all right, women are the ones who says, yes, you can have my body or not. Women are the ones who say that. All right. And if the women are the ones who say that, then the women are the ones who give access. You understand? And they give access based on this frivolous premise that we have here. Right? As a matter of fact, the whole idea of having sex only supposed to be within the confines of marriage. In today's hookup culture, they bypass the marriage altogether. All right. And so they say, well, I'm dating this guy. That means that, yeah, he's allowed to have sex with me. When a woman says that I am dating this guy, what she's basically saying, I allow him to have sex with me, and I allow him to have sex with me because he has his own house, he has his own car, he gives me money, he does this for me, he does that for me, he sees about my car, and all of that. You have people these days, let me tell you how this modern day culture is. You have women these days, they don't do nothing for the guy. I mean nothing more than they show up with makeup, and they're going out on a first date. And a first date, the guy has to carry them to a restaurant. He has to spend all that type of money, and he has to do all this type of thing. And what does she do? Absolutely nothing. All right, absolutely nothing. And I am saying that all this whole premise is completely wrong. All right. So, Pastor, if you are saying then that the premise is completely wrong, then what is the premise for us getting married? What is the reason for us coming together? What is the reason that a man and a woman must come together? And if we are talking about the building blocks of society, which is the family, what is the reason for us getting married? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because clearly what the advice that we are receiving, and even the mentality that has infiltrated the church, and you just saw it there by these 3 Christian women, well, 2 and one who is quote unquote, well, 3 Christian women, all right. You saw it there that the mentality has even infiltrated the church. And so I want to know, what are the pastors teaching? What are the pastors teaching? What are the apostles teaching in these churches? Because if the mentality of the world, if the feministic viewpoint of the world has infiltrated the church, then we are not effective. That means that the statistic where divorce is concerned is even affecting the church, because it doesn't say anything about religion. When we look at the statistics, it doesn't say anything about religion. But if we get into in terms of religion, in terms of church, you will see that the statistics will show the very same thing. Reason why is because the same mentality that is in the world is in the church. And people have a problem when I preach and I say, listen, when I preach to the church, I preach to the church because it's just like you're preaching to the world, because the mentality is the same. All right. So let's get back to answer some questions here. Pastor, what is the premise? If what you are saying here that these women are wrong in terms of their advice to the young women and so on, and all right, then how should we get married? What should we be looking for? What is my role as an individual? Well, I'm glad you asked. And so in order to understand that, we need to get back to what is God's intent. What was God's intent when he brought man and woman on the earth? What was God's intent? All right. First of all, God's intent is for mankind to replenish the earth.